Hello there, Roberta. Okay, sorry for the small delay getting your work back. Won't happen again. And yeah, I'll pay special attention to your essays if you've got your exam coming up. Okay, I'll give you priority. So let's go. Imagination, creativity, and cognitive functions such as planning and projecting are some fundamental skills that a child should acquire during his or her growth. Very good. Here's a tip for improving this little bit is his or her is a little bit clumsy. Okay, so what we can do is just say that children should acquire during their growth, and we just change it to the plural. Okay, it sounds a little bit more eloquent. Although it is undeniable that reading is a really productive and educative activity, we don't really need really here. Okay, it's redundant, and plus it doesn't really gel well with a really educative activity. Okay, so we just remove that. It's a productive and educative activity. Many enjoyable tasks can improve much more these qualities in youngsters rather than reading a book. So once again, that much more, it's not very necessary. So let's see. Many enjoyable activities can improve these qualities in youngsters rather than reading a book. In this essay, I support my opinion using examples from the utility of board games to the importance of playing sports. Very good. Firstly, playing board games, our children can enrich their cognitive and artistic abilities. We don't need these personal pronouns. Okay, so in this case, we could have just said this essay will support my opinion using examples. Okay, and here, say, playing board games, children can enrich their cognitive and artistic abilities. This is because in order to win, you have to plan your actions, and sometimes you have to imagine or invent your answers. Good. Take Risiko, for example. In order to achieve all your goals, you have to figure out what is the best way to conquer all the countries. But you also have to predict other players' actions. Therefore, playing board games should not only be playing board games could be not only funny but also informative. Therefore, playing board games is not only funny but also formative. Okay, I wouldn't have said formative, but also educational would be more appropriate there. Okay. And I'd have said is not could be not. That doesn't sound too natural, right? Another pleasant activity that can contribute to the development of our children's skills is playing sports. This is due to the fact that almost all of the sports, beyond training and physical capabilities, also improve your cognition. Good. For instance, a good tennis player has to choose the best strategy in order to trick the rifle and get the point. Okay. As a consequence, different sports, including volleyball, football, or tennis, are able to strengthen not only the body but also the brain. And we've used that structure already, so we don't have to use it again. So we could just say are able to strengthen both the body and the brain. Okay? And we're using a different structure and avoiding repetition. So there's another thing I wanted to say. Actually, I'll save it for the next essay. In conclusion, there are many enjoyable activities that children can perform or could perform. Just sounds more specific than do. Do sounds rather general. Could perform with their friends that can ameliorate their skills. Good. In the future, these kinds of activities should be added or improved in the schools. Very good. Good way to finish there. Excellent. We followed the guide, followed the structure. Very good work. Great start, Roberta. The importance of communication between members of a family is a widely discussed issue. Not totally, that sounds very conversational. We can say, I strongly agree with the idea that nowadays more and more fathers and mothers do not talk with each other or with their children, or do not talk to each other or with their children. Okay? This essay will discuss my opinion reporting some examples from enjoying a dinner with other relatives and conversations between parents and children in order to demonstrate points and support arguments. Okay. Firstly, activities that can facilitate the communication between family members is better, such as having dinner all together, less frequent in modern families. Good. This is because often a mother and a father come back home at different hours, or children prefer eating the meal in front of the television, watching their favourite cartoons, instead of sitting around a table with their parents and siblings. Okay? Or instead of being sat around a table. But the first way I told you, the first way I said was basically said the same with less words, making it more succinct, more concise, which is closer to formal academic English. Okay? A recent survey performed by the BBC has shown that only 4 families out of 10 share a meal with the other family's components. So how can we rephrase that? Has shown that only 4 families. Here it's more common to say that only 4 out of 10 families share a meal together. Okay, so 2 things there. We could have just said together instead of all of this, and second we should 4 out of 10. Okay, families. That's the better way to say that. Therefore, people do not make any effort to spend more time all together, thus enjoying the pleasure of chatting about how everyone spent the day or sharing ideas and opinions. Very good. Here I would have rephrased the first part, saying therefore, families, making it more specific. Actually, people is okay because we've already used families a few times, so therefore, people rarely have time to spend together, because it's not about making the effort, it's about having the time or preference. We could say therefore, due to changes in current times, people are spending less time together, thus missing the pleasure of chatting about how everyone spent the day or sharing ideas and opinions. Okay, so a few options there for rephrasing this little bit. Okay, and by the way, it's make the effort, not do the effort. Another issue is the lack, very good for using that, of communication between parents and children. This is due to the fact that sons and daughters prefer to open up with a friend rather than with their parents. 2 things here. Hedging, which is a lesson taught near the end of the sentence guide, and second, rather than. Okay? If you want, write out 5 sentences with rather than, just to make sure we've got total control of it. And research rather than online, and then give me your 5 versions, okay? Take a teenage girl who likes a boy, for example. Okay, let's not use these examples, okay? Let's use examples like, take for example a recent study by Harvard, which showed that 60% of girls who like boys, well, later on in the sentence guide there's a full tutorial about how to give examples, okay? That's coming up really soon. So let's go. Take a teenage girl who likes a boy, for example. Be more comfortable for her telling her best friend about her feelings for this guy and asking her some advice regarding how to get his attention or what to do in order to go out with him, instead of talking with her mother. As a consequence, today, the idea that a mother and her daughter can go out and confide with each other like 2 close friends is not realistic. Fantastic and solid example, but it just needs to be transformed for an IELTS essay. Okay? Here I would have said something like, take for example a recent study by Harvard that showed that 60% of the girls interviewed said that they confide with their friends rather than with their parents regarding romantic issues. Okay? I was saying the same, but it sounds a lot more academic this way. So in conclusion, personally, I think that nowadays only a tiny minority of people enjoy having a dialogue with their relatives. I hope that in the future, more and more families will understand how important it is to communicate with some of the most important people of our life. Fantastic. Very good start, Roberta. Now what I want you to do is implement all the corrections that you've heard. Send me back the corrected essays. Make a list of the mistakes. This is called your improvement list. On that improvement list, write down what you've learnt and what to improve in your next work, and then write me 2 new essays. With those 2 new essays, I want you to check them for opportunities to improve, check them for mistakes you've made previously, and check the word count. Make sure that the first one is 250, or task 2 is 250, and task 1 is 150. If it's over, I'll send them back and ask you to edit it. Yeah, and then send me those all together in one email once you've completed it. Okay, have a good day, and yeah, next time it's going to be 24 hours, okay, to get your work back. Have a good day, Roberta. All the best.